It was so long ago. I was in almost every bracket. Smash Ultimate, BlazBlue Cross Tag, Dragon Ball Fighters, man. Those were the good old days. I thought with Strive things would be different, that my love for Giovanna would carry me through, but alas I wasn't one of the best, and Strive just wasn't for me. I was lost, frustrated with darn near every fighting game I played. Maybe I'm just not cut out to play against others anymore, let alone teach you guys how to play these things. That all changed when Street Fighter6 got announced, however. Yo, they got rap music! Oh, it's actually Third Strike! The Street Fighter6 hype was real. It overtook everyone. Closed beta access was granted to many. Closed beta access was cracked for even more. There was $2 million for the Capcom Pro Tour on the line. There was so much buzz, and for the first time in one of these fighting games, so much more to do than just multiplayer that I couldn't help but get overtaken by the hype and reminded of why I love fighting games again. On that note, welcome to the guide series for Street Fighter6, where I'll be reviewing my own gameplay, breaking it down, and going over characters that I am fascinated with and want to help teach others how to play. Without further ado, let's get started. First things first, let's get accustomed to INFIL's fighting game glossary, which I'll link in the description below, as I'll be using many FGC terms that may confuse newer players, so referring to that glossary will help you a ton. Hey y'all, Future Young Falcon here. We gotta talk about numpad notation, and I forgot to do a bit on it, so enjoy the Guilty Gear bit from 2 years ago. But first things first, let's get comfortable with this chart right here. This is the anime notation chart. It'll help you out when we get to the combo portion of this video, so make sure you keep exactly where the fight stick notations are and have that in the back of your mind as we go throughout the guide. Ken Masters is an all-around good old American shodo. He's got the fireball to zone with projectiles, the DP for anti-airs, and when you need to close that gap and add on some pressure, we have Ken's good old run button. First off, what I know a lot of you guys are here for, let's go over some basic combos for Ken. Next are going to be combos that are specifically for certain situations, whether it be counter hit, confirms, or if your opponent is crouching. Keep that in mind when you go to practice these. And those are just some generic Ken combos. Next up, let's talk about Ken's block pressure and what to do when you land a hit, specifically one that's a counter or punish counter. Let's start with some great opening buttons. Crouching medium punch is a bit risky, but if you're up on a life lead and your opponent's mashing often on block, it's def worth doing. It's 0 on block, but thanks to our good old pal Drive Rush, you can rush in and make a 0 a +4. And if your opponent is mashing anything higher than a frame 4 move, that's a free counter which can lead to a damaging combo. If you end the combo with a knockdown, it also can set people up in the corner, which can lead to Oki or a frame trap situation. Your standing light kick and standing light punch are your tried and true buttons. It checks anyone throwing out a button higher than 5 frames and will usually result in a counter, or if someone's mashing, a trade. If you string these together, it will also allow you to convert them into a heavy DP or a Tatsu just to get people off of you or set up for, again, Oki or a frame trap. Crouching light punch is the GOAT. It's everything you could probably guess from watching the combos. It's going to be hard not to fish for this move, as it leads to a slew of incredible damage options, thanks to it leading into our standing medium punch into heavy punch target combo. As for crouching medium kick, it's one you want to use sparingly because it's a great drive rush button. You're either starting drive rush manually and checking someone that's not blocking low, often leading into either a double drive rush into combo or a knockdown using Tatsu or Shoryu or whatever special ability you want to cancel into. On the note of medium buttons, we do have medium punch punch into heavy punch, which is our target combo you've seen throughout the guide. However, doing it on block isn't that safe. Make sure when you do this on block, you have overdrive meter to spend for overdrive Hadouken. This will cover the medium punch into heavy punch target combo on block and make it safe. That allows you to go back and play neutral and reset and rethink, or sets up for a frame trap where you catch someone mashing it could go into super. It's very effective and you're going to want to use it sparingly. Lastly are our heavy buttons, and Ken in particular boils down to a lot of spacing, as a punish counter from either standing heavy punch or standing heavy kick will give you massive damage. You're going to want to be real careful and space yourself looking for opportunities when it's okay to throw a heavy button out. As for standing heavy kick, that's that button, that's that good stuff. Let me tell you, spacing a standing heavy kick to punish a big whiffed button like a standing heavy or medium from your opponent leads into a free corner carry opportunity. This is mainly due to Ken's run Tatsu, or run side twitch if you need to get out of the corner, and land a super easy super confirm. It's a move best used to poke or check opponents for throwing out random buttons, and when landed, the drive rush potential is insane. As for heavy punch, it's basically party time. Landing a 623k after a heavy punch if they're crouching gives you +4 advantage, which can lead into Ken's highest damaging combo, and it functions as a coast to coast as well. Boy oh boy, I feel like we do a lot of sprinting with Kenneth Masters. I bet he's pretty tuckered out and could use a good old meal from Ken's a meaty machine. Every knockdown Ken gets basically leads us to a win-win frame trap situation. We use the run button to pull up on your opponent and start pressure after a confirm. A basic setup looks something like this. Once again, timing is everything. The overhead kick is +3, which I hecking love, by the way. This is where most of our pressure will stem from, allowing us to start up a block string or frame trap to lock people down, or give you a safe reset into neutral if spaced incorrectly on block. Be very careful though. If your opponent mashes and you whiff, it can get you a counter hit, or worse, lead into a dreaded punish counter, where they'll blow you up for 20% more damage. This is where one of the tricky things about Ken comes into play here. He's very high risk, but very high reward. A lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff, depending on how many risks you want to take in a match and how little reward you want those risks to be. Sadly, as you'll see in neutral, Ken's got to take a lot of risk. Safe, calculated ones for sure, but it can be frustrating as a new player getting blown back all the time. So hopefully these neutral tips will help you a little bit. Fireball seems simple on the surface, but it's a lot more nuanced than you think. Street Fighter 6, unlike other Street Fighters, has a new priority system on fireballs, kind of like a rock paper scissors thing. So normal fireballs lose to EX, EX fireballs lose to super, and lastly, any two normal fireballs colliding with each other will cancel each other out. Now that we have this knowledge, when a DJ Ryu or Chun-Li wants to hit you with a fireball war, you can poke in and catch up something with an EX variant that leads to them getting hit, allowing us to play more neutral or going for a cheeky drive rush to close that gap. Here's where Ken's handy dandy lights come into play. When attacking a blocking opponent, try to open them up with the crouching light kick first, as it can chain into a crouching light punch, creating a frame trap that should hit most frame 5 buttons. You can do a couple of things with this depending on distance, the biggest one being our link into the target combo you guys saw previously. But it's also a great way to combo into standing light kick, which is up to a DP where Ken can use his run or a manual drive rush to add pressure on opponent's wake up. We can also use the combo crouching light punch into crouching medium kick on counter hit, and this will help us get an easy Tatsu confirm, or we could spend that cash with a drive rush into whatever you can create. Next up is know when to use the target combo and when to use crouching heavy punch instead. This one is oddly particular for Ken, and something that with this footage online you'll see me struggle with.
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
But it's very important for us to abuse our run cancel. Using the target combo, while effective, makes it harder for us to set up for meaty after knocking down, and you run the risk of not getting your full wall carry. Using drive rush medium punch into crouching heavy punch, then run canceling into target combo will let Ken do much more damage and give you an easier gauge of setting up your meaty. It also just looks cool as heck. And speaking of running often, that's our final tip. Run often. Spacing is everything as Ken, and that's doubly important, as in order for Ken to be plus at starter Oki or get a lucky meaty going, he's gotta run into basically everything. Your best friend after a knockdown will be spacing your run into an overhead. When timed right, you get a huge counter hit opportunity that changes to crouching light attack, and you all know the rest from there. It's a double-edged sword, as if whiffed you can get blown up immensely, as we discussed previously in this guide. If you don't think you can make it in time with your overhead poke, then it's time to use the run heavy kick variant to stagger and cause pressure. Running in neutral is extremely effective, and remember, you don't always have to throw out an attack button. Nothing's stopping you from running, stopping halfway if you think your opponent's going to get up and do something risky, and punishing accordingly. Just make sure you apply pressure and conditioning correctly to your opponent so they don't get the leg up on you and turn the tables over quick. And that'll about do it for the Ken Master's Guide. Hopefully I was able to teach you some helpful techniques and assist in formulating your game plan. If you find better neutral tips or cooler combos, please post them in the comments down below, and let's learn together as best as we can. However, I do have 2 million to chase, so let me leave you off with some footage of my expert Ken skills.
Oh no!
Oh, you SPD. Oh, gosh, come on with this garbage. This homie drive impact and really think he doing something like. This homie think he nice, huh? Like, oh my gosh, bro. Oh. Alright. Okay, chat. This kid is trash. Oh, I'm sorry, chat. He's trash. He's only winning because he's online. Okay? Spam an SPD, mash and drive impact, catch me as CEO. He won't be doing any of that. Okay, he won't be doing any of that. Let me have a word with this little homie, bro. 1 second, chat. Let me just... Garbage on Ziggy would never take me in a money match, little scrub. Excuse me? No shot. This homie thinks he can take me offline. He must got me messed up, bro. He must got me messed up. No. No games. Let me hit trading mode real quick for the one time. These key fades acting quite bold. Okay, quite bold. Let me swap. Let me look for someone else. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, this is the character that'll handle Geef.